and I'll be looking to make a bit of progress through here where I can. Okay, vehicles converging on my right, just keeping a close eye on them. It's quite heavy traffic this morning. So I'm very much aware of the fact that people tend to chop and change lanes as we come down here, particularly towards the end, where they'll be in lane 2 and need to get to turn left. Sometimes they'll indicate, sometimes they won't. There's a reasonably wide gap here, which is quite comfortable. We're still only doing 15 miles an hour. There's no point blasting down here, because if any of these vehicles decide to try and change lanes, I've got a bit of a problem. I'm looking for gaps that any of the vehicles might be able to move across into. It's less likely that they'll move sideways. There's nowhere for them to actually go, although sometimes they will try and force the way. So checking behind me, there's no other bikes filtering at the moment. I'm still only doing about 16 miles an hour, but I'm making sort of reasonable progress past these vehicles without taking any unnecessary risks. So I've got my fingers ready on the brake should I need it. There's one vehicle up ahead looking to change over into lane 2, which is an unusual one. It's normally the other way. They normally come from right to left down here. So we'll just let him sort himself out and just go with the flow, as this vehicle is obviously going to accelerate to catch up with the traffic in lane 1. So there's no point sort of forcing it too much. We're doing 20 miles an hour, making decent progress. Checking the mirror. Still no bikes filtering behind me, and we can make a bit more progress through the middle here now. There is actually quite an uneven ridge where the tarmac joins just to the left of the centre line, which you can actually feel as you cross it. So again, looking for any signs of vehicles that might want to try and move over into my lane. Obviously the goods vehicle is significantly reducing the width there. I'm just going to let this Land Rover get past it, which is going to give me a lot more space then. Although I do now have a big gap in front of the Land Rover, which is ideal for people to suddenly dive over, and one's just about to do that. So we're still moving quite nicely, just below 20 miles an hour. I'm now going to just follow this Land Rover and let it catch up with the stationary vehicles ahead of it. Checking the mirror, there's still no vehicles behind me. Lane marking. Okay, now I'm checking the mirror again, there's no other vehicles looking to filter. Now I can start to think about making a bit of progress through this lot. So we've got one vehicle there blocking the way at the moment, and some large vehicles up ahead which will cut the space down considerably. I'll make a little bit more progress here before I actually reach them. I'm not going to try and force my way in front of the Saab. I'll just drop nice and comfortably into that position there. And the bus, I think, has seen me actually. Looks like he's moving over to give me a little bit more space. The guy in the BMW clearly hasn't. That's not deliberate, it just isn't looking. So there's no way I can get through there, it's not wide enough. So I'll just settle down here. There's no other vehicles, no other motorcycles looking to filter at the moment. And the BMW has now actually spotted me. So I'll make a little bit of progress there and just give him a quick wave of thank you. Okay, I'm going to just watch this Vauxhall. I think he's going straight ahead. The one alongside me is actually turning left. And the traffic's moving quite freely now. So we made a little bit of progress there where we could, without getting too forceful about it, causing anybody any problems. I generally find that people that I meet on the road at this time of the morning are the kind of people I meet every morning at the same time. So if they're cooperative with me and I'm appreciative, then that all seems to work quite nicely. Oh, there's a big gap up there up the near side. Checking the mirror, making sure it's clear. I can get to the front of this traffic queue or alternately find somewhere to drop in. Oh, there's a nice gap there just behind the Fusion. A little bit more progress through here. Now, as I said earlier, I'll be very careful now because the sun is shining directly in the door mirrors of these vehicles on both sides of the car now, so they may not be aware that I'm there, so I'm watching very carefully this Fiesta as the Transit ahead moves over, looking for gaps that they might be able to move across into. And somebody very kindly moving over, thank you very much. And I'm just going to go with the flow here because we're now travelling at just slightly more than 20 miles an hour. The traffic is stationary at the lights up ahead, so I'll look to be getting towards the front of the queue through the middle there. Again, just keeping a close eye on any of these vehicles, any likelihood of them moving. Okay, I've got enough room to get through there. Get down towards the front. I'm actually going to sit behind the VW Touran rather than try and squeeze through the middle and beat him away from the lights. Checking the car to my left, it's well clear.